Yo, yo, what's going on? It is Critical with Crowd Surf Radio. Thanks for tuning in. Um, we got a fun one for you guys today. I know a lot of you receive a lot of different mixes with some poor quality uh, stuff. So microphones getting sent in with vocals just not there. Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up and go through some of the stuff that I do just for a quick recap and kind of show you the screen that that helps you. It's a good starting point. Rough guidelines for EQ and vocals using your ears. So that's the big thing about this is making sure that we're using the tools that we have at our disposal. I mean, we're in the internet age, especially with artificial intelligence, stuff like that. You could really ask any type of question you need to help you out along the way. So hopefully you're utilizing your resources there. But as you can see right here, we have the good starting point guideline. So low end rumble, 20 to 80 hertz, often due to proximity effect and unwanted artifacts. So if somebody as an artist is up too close to the microphone, you could probably hear it if I do it. So if I get too close, it gets that proximity effect. So you really want to have a good distance from the microphone when you're recording it. But if you do run into that when someone sends you a mix, a vocal mix, then just make sure that you're addressing that as needed. And then you got the core vocal frequency, 100 to 300 hertz. Too much of this leads to boominess. Too little thins out the sound. So there's a good if you don't have that, sometimes your vocals can sound too thin. I've seen some artists that actually, you know, do that and their vocal sounds really thin in the mix. So make sure you address that accordingly. The box region, 350 to 600 hertz. It's a fine line between boxy and hollow. Balance carefully. So, as indicated, you got a dip right there doing some subtractive EQing. And then you got the mid-range bite. So, 1.4, 1 kilohertz to 4 kilohertz. A busy area that competes with guitar synths. Pay attention to harshness. So super important on that one. Make sure we're focusing on that, especially when you have a lot of stuff going on in the mix. Uh, and then you have the sibilant zone. So 5 to 8 kilohertz. Try broader Q curves to have better control over the brightness. So a little tip there. And then you have the last region, which is the air region, 10 to 20 kilohertz. Roll off to taste, boost for creative effects. So there's a couple starting points there. Hopefully, you guys find that helpful. Without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and kick it off to the mix that we're working on. So I'm gonna go ahead and bypass what I've already done on this, and I'll let you hear the track before we go into the full breakdown of what this looks like. So let me go ahead and mute my mic and play this track real quick so you guys can hear it.
To work. I went back to work, fucking with jerks. Even the homie acts like I don't know my work. Asking real nicely, don't infantilize me. These workplace politics don't surprise me. What your price be? Analyze me. As soon as you find a blemish, that's when you despise me.
Yo, what's going on, Visually Stunning? How you doing? All right, so there you go. You can hear the verse and what we're working with. We'll go ahead and solo it out. I'm soloing it out for this instance just so you guys can hear it before we actually start doing anything to it. Let me take some of the effects off of it already. We'll get into those later on that track. But if you hear the vocal, let's solo it out here. And like I said, typically when mixing, I'll do a combination of soloing it and doing it in the mix. More often than not, I'm going to do it while it's in the mix. Uh, but I do both. I know there's some controversy behind that. But at the end of the day, you do want to make sure that it does sound good in the mix. So that's going to be the majority of us listening to that. But for this situation, we're going to go ahead and show you what it looks like. Let's go ahead and pull up some of these plugins. Let's listen to the vocals without anything on it first.
I went back to work, fucking with jerks. Even the homie acts like I don't know my worth. Asking real nicely, don't infantilize me. These workplace politics don't surprise me. What your price be? Analyze me. As soon as you find a blemish, that's when you despise me.
So as you can hear it, you can hear how low it sounds. No, nothing going on there. Let's go ahead and hear it in the mix one more time.
It's been too long. I went back to work, fucking with jerks.
Yep. So NS1 stereo by Waves. Let's go ahead and show you what that sounds like.
I went back to work, fucking with jerks. Even the homie acts like I don't know my worth. Asking real nicely, don't infantilize me. These workplace politics don't.
So really acting as a gate right there. Then we follow it up. I normally throw a Pro Q3 on it to start with just to see where I'm at. But if you remember, what we were just going over with the frequency zones, I'm kind of following that cadence within that frequency zone, so you guys can see that. And let's go ahead and hear what that sounds like real quick.
Surprise me. What your price be? Analyze me. As soon as you find a blemish, that's when you despise me. Been spending too long doing my own thing. I keep push on, this is my own thing. Uh, See them people flock in. They
All right, so you guys see what I'm doing there. Then I brought in the Smooth Operator Pro plugin. Funny enough, they have a preset called Cheap Mic Rescue. So definitely recommend this plugin. I know it's a little bit cheaper than the Soothe plugin. I think it does a phenomenal job. I love that the Pro Edition just added the low to preserve lows and preserve highs. This is something new to this update. So if you guys haven't checked this plugin out, definitely get your hands on it. It helps you get there pretty quickly. So with that being said, we'll throw that on there and hear what that sounds like.
I went back to work, fucking with jerks. Even the homie acts like I don't know my worth. Asking real nicely, don't infantilize me. These workplace politics don't surprise me. What your price be?
All right, so really just taming some of those high frequencies and making sure that we have a balanced mix. After that, I needed to get some compression into it and a little bit more volume, so I drove that with um, the UAD Legacy 1176. So you guys will hear the volume increase on that, plus some compression.
Back to work, fucking with jerks. Even the homie acts like I don't know my worth. Uh, See them people flock in. They talking at the same time that they walk in. They want they nice, neat little packages quick. My boss has got a buzz cut and acts like a bitch, but it's funding this shit. So I'm steering the ship right towards the iceberg. I'm going down on this bitch. I'm a hound in this niche. Fuck pounding the fist. I'm stack my little check.
All right, I think we're back at it. Sorry about that. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Let me go ahead and close this down real quick. All right, so back in it. All right, looks like what happened there. So let's refresh that. Boom, we're good to go. Awesome. So I used the 1176 to get some compression and some vocal warmthness, and then I added in a de-esser. So you're gonna see what that sounds like. We'll solo that out so you can hear it.
I went back to work, fucking with jerks. Even the homie acts like I don't know.
So you can see what we're focusing on. A quick tip with this, I'm gonna keep this open so you guys can see. But if you add in your Pro Q3, and I was looking right here at this 67 hertz right here, 6709, and I was peaking here, so I kind of dialed in on that, and that's how I came up with that.
Bitch, but it's funding this shit. So I'm steering the ship right towards the iceberg. I'm going down on this bitch. I'm a hound in this niche. Fuck pounding the fist. I'm gonna stack my
Let's see. So the manly one.